All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So I did already watch the actual direct this morning. I saw what they showed for Mario Kart World, all the things that they were going to intend to show us. I guess at this point, maybe like 2 weeks ago, they finally showed us. There's been a lot of discussion around whether or not the games are worth $80, whether or not they should be a little bit less, maybe they should be a lot less. There's been a lot of people in the chat just spamming drop the price in all caps. Everybody's like very not on the fence, but they're very, I would say for lack of a better word, upset that the price is what the price is. And one thing that a lot of people have been, or not a lot of people, but one thing I've seen a few people actually allude to and agree with and stand by is the idea that if the content is justifiable for the price, then it's no problem, right? If the game has enough, or in this specific scenario, if the game has enough content in it, enough gameplay worth that amount, then paying that amount is not the issue. So as far as I'm concerned, at the moment, my current situation doesn't allow me to, for lack of a better word, frivolously indulge in that. So the fact that the price is what the price is just makes it hard for me, because I can't at the moment get that, or I can't really abide by that. The difference is when I do have the ability to abide by that, whatever that time will be, then I don't see a problem with that. Me personally, in the scope of Mario Kart, will play Mario Kart just as much as I would play Smash Brothers, me personally, because those are games that I can kind of jump between. I will play Smash, play that for like a couple hours, then I'll play Mario Kart, play that for a couple hours, because both the games, to me, when you really zoom out and think about it, are both multiplayer type games where it's like there are sessions, or like, I guess, rounds, so to speak. You'll always have your like a set, you'll run a set on that, run a set on this, run a set on that kind of thing. So for me, replayability wise, that game has a lot of replayability, just like Smash. So it's no different with Mario Kart. The only difference with Smash Brothers is that you, I guess, directly go against somebody, right? I don't say that's any different with Mario Kart, but that's just my stance on it. Like, as far as right now, I may not be in the best spot to give Nintendo that amount that they're asking for, just because I don't have the ability to do that at this very current time. But when I do have that ability, like I did in the past, I wouldn't have batted an eye at it. It would have been like, okay, do I have enough right now when it comes out? Okay, bet, here you go. And then, I got what I want, because ultimately I'm buying what I want. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people probably get, but they're not necessarily saying right now, is that this is stuff that nobody necessarily needs, is always a want. Like, this is stuff that I want to play Mario Kart, I want to play Smash Bros, I want to play a new Mario game, I want to play a new Zelda game, or whatever game that comes out. And whatever price they're asking for at that time has been consistent for the past couple of decades or so. And okay, maybe not the past decades, but just like that period of time. So people may feel uncomfortable with the fact that, okay, now it's more than it was. And maybe their value proposition for justification of it being $60 compared to $80 like it is now is okay. People are okay with that, because that's a price that I'm willing to pay for what I'm getting. So back then, I guess it wasn't really like a question, because it matched up. And then it's just been the norm anyway, so people weren't really questioning it. Like, is this game worth $60? Maybe different if it was like an indie game, for example, that has like maybe 2 or 3 hours of content, and you're asking for $60. Okay, that's maybe not as accepted, because of the fact that the value you're getting isn't like being weighed correctly. And again, like, that's not a problem for people to do that. Like, people saying that I'm not buying Mario Kart, I'm not spending $8 on Mario Kart because I'm not gonna play that game that much. That's totally valid. But I don't think that a lot of people are letting people sit in that validity, if they will. Like, if I were to say I'm gonna spend, for lack of let's just pick a random number. Let's say I was gonna spend $500 at Whole Foods, right? Nobody can stop me from doing that. The only people that can stop me is Whole Foods or my bank account, right? Or my employer, who gives me the money to spend it, the bank account who's holding that money, and Whole Foods, who's even gonna let me in the store or accept the money in the first place. Like, they're really the only 3 or so people or entities that can stop me from buying something out of Whole Foods. The same way Nintendo, my bank account, and my employer are really the only three people that kind of stop me, or I guess Nintendo through, GameStop, Best Buy, whoever, are the only people that can really stop me from going through and doing those things. Because how else am I not going to be able to get it unless like scalpers, for example, interject it or whatever. So all that being said, I'm not going to probably re-watch it because some of the stuff I've already seen, this is something I actually want to do more of. The things I've seen, my impressions after seeing it is not necessarily high, but it's more so, it's just a matter of, it's kind of like, I kind of was expecting a little bit more for them to give the presentation their own set of time, and for it to be a thing that they can kind of like, hey, we don't have our own direct, right? A whole separate direct, just doing this. So once we're done with this main direct for the Switch 2, we're going to show you even more data or things about the Mario Kart game. Cool, no problem with that. They didn't show a lot more in terms of like, I thought there'd be like a story mode or like another mode we weren't expecting. Like, we've already seen time trials, we've already seen battle mode, playing online, of course, game chat. We've already seen those things, and I don't really believe that's necessary to show. It's necessary to show because not everybody's going to be watching a direct like myself or other Nintendo fans or people who are just interested in the information. There are people like Lil Timmy's grandma who's not going to watch the direct because she's I don't know if she's too old for that, but she didn't have the time for that, to watch that direct. She may just go and hear from the news or hear from like her daughter or like her daughter or son who has a kid who's raving about it, and then through the grapevine she finds out about it, right? Outside of that, there's not much else. So like I said, I'm still gonna get it because I have interest in getting it. I just have to wait to get it because I need the money to get it. So once I have the money, I don't think it's gonna be an issue. Nintendo, why not just Nintel? Nintendo seems like a lot. Like Nintendo seems like a mouthful. Let me cough up my wallet to you, Sakurai. I mean, but why you got the little like, you got the little face on it? What's up with that? Let's see that red 64 controller. All right, give me a second. You like how I wrapped it? You like how I wrapped that thing around there? No, I still haven't done it yet. There's actually, I'm glad you brought it up because you two are actually the two people that I actually want to provide this information to. I'm actually very excited about this because Phone B, if you are the person that was in chat last time that I'm not trying to directly call you out for because we had this conversation, if that is you, feel free to like, say something in the server so we can have this conversation again so I can get up to speed. But I do have some information for you guys concerning what I was talking about before in terms of how I want to move forward going with streams and gaming in the future. And we're going to stem off into some other topics, or not topics, but some other things about it. But stick with me for the ride because it shouldn't take long. I just want to tell you guys what's going on. So a little bit of a story time, if you will. First things first, it does have something to do with a controller like this. Not this particular controller, but a controller like this. So my initial plan for this controller, thank you GameCube by the way for sending me this, I appreciate it. This initial controller was intended to be modded to take the original board out of this, because this cable, this actually still works, by the way. Like this controller as it is still works. I know there's like frays in it, like you can see it's like kind of frayed right here. If I can kind of point at it, it's like frayed right there. Like this controller has like tape and stuff like that, like kind of holding it together, but it still works. Like it actually still fully works. Just the cable just looks damaged, but this is still a fully functioning controller. So you may ask, how do I know that? Now, I still want to kind of hold off on this, but my goal has been coming to fruition a little bit more than recently. So here's the deal. Last time I told you that I wanted to play my games more authentically, right? If I ever did go decide that I want to tackle the backlog, you're familiar with the backlog. If you ever wanted to complete the backlog, I needed to, play the games on stream and, just have access to the games so I can play them. There was one time I was using an emulator, but what I'm going to do at this point, what I've done is decided to take the money I had, the rabbit hole I've dived into, to gather original hardware to play these games. Now, me being the nerd that I am, the techie that I am, the tech junkie that I am, the problem that I had with original consoles is that playing on an emulator is so much easier because it's way more accessible. It's free, so to speak. You can get the stuff you need. You can just get it however you get it. You could just get it, right? So the thing was, I can actually play that. It'll be easy, or I can put myself in a headache state and I can go through the trouble of getting original hardware, making sure that it outputs the best video possible, and then using that to play the games instead. Which seems like it would take a lot more effort to do that compared to just running an emulator. I think you know which one I decided to do. So, when it comes to controllers like this and the other things that I do have the original systems. My goal starting off was to collect for one franchise. You can take a guess as to what it is. I'm not going to confirm it. You can say it in chat. I'm not going to confirm it. And once that collection is complete, that's when we'll get started. The second part of that was making sure that I had the right equipment to make sure that the systems that I have are able to output to where you can see it and I can record it in like a quality that won't make me rip my eyes out. Now that piece has been ordered because I've been going through a lot of headache trying to get the best scaler on the market, which is stupid expensive, but worth the price. Maybe something a little bit less than that from the same company, but they don't make anymore. Unfortunately, that eBay listing sold for 4 times the price. I'm not getting that. Or I can get it from the original source that still sells them, but they were just on pre-order, so I had to wait until they were available. That's the one I went with because it took forever just to decide, or not so much decide, but it took forever just to facilitate getting an actual piece of equipment that would allow me to turn the visuals into something of an emulator quality, where you can get sharp pixels and you can, make it look like it's way better, 10 times better graphically than the original hardware can produce. So all that being said, I have the original hardware. Everything's pretty much already here. We're just waiting on final pieces. Like last time I spoke to you, I said I was maybe 80 to 85% completed with the goal I set out. And at this point, we're maybe like at 92% done. We got like another 8% to finish. And once I get that, then I'm full force ahead with that. So hopefully that gives you an idea. I'm going to be very forthcoming about it once it actually happens. Once the whole 100% is available, then I'll be kind of upfront about that. But for the time being, I see just a little bit more patience, because at this point, it might take like another maybe week, maybe a little week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It just depends. Like in about 2 weeks time, I should have everything I need. Like in terms of like not waiting for things to materialize, but more so just wait for things to show up. Like once everything shows up, then I can full send. We're going to do everything like that. So I know the chat's been going off. I'm sorry. I've been trying my best to like just talk so I don't really forget, and then kind of take the time to go back and re-chat. There's not a lot of chat anyway, so it's not just a lot to catch up on. Yeah, I don't have a robo pack for these. I would get one. I just, just starting again. The goal was to start with getting the the foundational stuff first before we moved on to like the accessories and the extra stuff. Accessible better graphics. Yeah, most emulators pretty much allow you, because there's nothing wrong with the emulator. It's the problem with the stuff that you get for the emulator that makes it, you know, where the negative connotation comes in and like the bad rep it has comes in, you know. At the end of the day, the best choice is what you want to do, and I appreciate that. This was to me the best choice, mainly because amongst my IRL friends, I often have this, not disagreement, but this difference in opinion, which I guess is, you could call that disagreement. I just found a different way to say it. So for me, it's always something to where I'm going to decide to do what I think is best for me, because in my mind I'm right, in your mind you're right. So I'm always going to do what I'm going to think to do is right, and you're always going to do what you think to do is right. And to me, playing on original hardware, even if there are some differences in between, as long as the hardware is original, then I'm cool with that at least. And amongst my friends, it's always been a matter of like, I'm just going to use an emulator. I'm just going to do that instead. But the problem is that I know that they're just getting the information that they need somewhere and not necessarily from the original source. And that's neither here or there. That's just the truth. And for me, I'd rather use the original hardware to do that, just so I can enjoy myself playing the original hardware like I've done before but never kept. Like when I was in college, I remember not growing up with an NES, not growing up with an SNES. I was born around the time the N64 came out, and I never owned a GameCube, but I had a Wii for Christmas, and I bought myself a Wii U, then I had a Switch, and now we're in the current time. So the systems I didn't have growing up, I went and purchased when I was in college. Like there was a retro game store down the street from my apartment when I moved to the university I was going to, and I was like, oh cool, y'all got the stuff in here? It was like, yeah man, all right, bet, let me get that, get that over there, let me get these games. Went home with all of it and played it all like it was nothing, right? Like that's something I've done before, but I was in college and that was like years ago, so I didn't have the means to keep up with it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when the Switch first came out, all the stuff I had bought from the virtual store, I traded in at GameStop for the games. Got the Switch at like Best Buy or something. But I basically want to get back to that. I want to experience the games in their original form, and that's really what it is. Like, how can I experience the game in its original intended format? And that's what prompted me to go get the systems that I needed. So if you want the original hardware for your own sake, it makes sense. If it's just for streaming, it's a huge undertaking. It really is. Like, that's kind of the whole point. Not the point, but that's kind of been the result of it, is that for streaming sake, for the sake of having it archived on YouTube so I can go back and see what I've done while playing the game, it was a huge undertaking. It was completely unnecessary. I could have just emulated all of it just for stream's sake. But when I'm streaming, I'm not only streaming for streaming's sake, I'm streaming because I'm also recording, and I'm recording for the sake of archiving, so that way I can keep the memory of, well, I remember doing this, or yeah, I guess I did do this that one time, where I did this and that one time I played this game, and I think this is how I beat this one thing in this other game. Like, it's just a matter of going and archiving it. Archiving leads to recording. Why not stream while recording? And so it all kind of ties into together. That's my streamer, so I haven't been interacting with chat. The one thing that makes streaming as a format entertaining. Well, I mean, funny because I don't really have, I mean, I'm glad there are people in chat. Like, I've noticed if I even have at least one person to talk to in chat, then I feel like streaming is a lot more fun, because streaming as a, I guess, hobby is based around interactivity, and there's no one to interact with if there's no one here, so to speak. And that's where, you know, lurking comes in. That's where dedicated fans come in and stuff like that. I don't really expect people to, I guess, be here consistently. So when people are here, I appreciate that. And unless I'm like on a rant just talking, then I don't really have, you know, anyone to talk to, because I'm just talking to the camera, you know. And I said this last time, but I have amiibos on my monitors here. Like I have shelves attached to the back of my monitors, or like, yeah, these like shelving things, and I'm able to put my amiibos up there. Last time in a different stream, I was talking about how if there's nobody in chat, I'll just talk to the amiibos. That's crazy. I'm not saying I'm going to talk to the amiibos. However, one good way of looking at it, I would say, the same way I'm talking to this camera, is thinking like, I may not have an audience in chat, but it's almost like I have an audience of like amiibos here. So I'm not necessarily talking to them, but if I put myself in the mentality of, if somebody's watching me, then it's easier to feel as though I'm kind of giving it my all. Because if I stream differently to one person being here compared to streaming differently to 1,000 people being here, then it's going to be a stark difference. Like I'll be quiet when one person's here, and then I'll be talkative when 1,000 people are here. I don't know about that. Like that doesn't seem right. Like I should do the same with 1,000 like I would do with one. And so if there's nobody in chat, even though I'm still talking to this camera into this mic, it still feels like people are watching, or like things are watching, like there's somebody watching, so to speak. So it's just like an audience. Think of it like an audience. Like, you know how there's like, you think of the people, if you're giving a speech, think of everybody like in their underwear. Like they're the ones who are embarrassed and you're the one that's like just talking, even though oftentimes that mentality flips and you're the one in your underwear and they're the ones fully clothed laughing at you. They can't laugh at me, right? I'm not saying that they're sentient. It's more so just like, think of it like somebody's always watching. Even though there may not be people watching, there's always, I mean, amoebas have eyes or whatever. They're not watching me, but I hope that makes a little bit more sense. Like I'm actually, that is my audience, right? There may not be anybody physically in chat talking, and these aren't talking either. The amoebas aren't talking, but if I had to think of something like an audience, that's what I would do, is look at them as an audience. Like just look up and be like, you know, just talking, right? So, or what I could do is, because streaming is still just talking to yourself, even when there's nobody in chat talking. And so it's almost like if I'm playing a Mario game, I have Mario figures up on the screen. So it's like, Mario, why are you doing that? Like, what, Mario, like what, like, if I'm trying to jump and Mario's not jumping the way I need it to, then it's almost like I'm talking to Mario. Like, Mario, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? Right? Or like Link, or Joker, or Iron Man, or Bowser. I'm not talking directly to them because that's crazy. It's more so just talking as if they're actually, like, that's my audience, so to speak. Very crazy. I know outside looking in, that sounds crazy, but you have to be a little crazy whenever you're streaming. I feel like you gotta be a little delusional, you know. I should have packed it. What would pack in? I have more than 4, I think. I mean, GameCube, if you're still here, I know I talk a lot, so I don't expect you to still be here. I don't know. But if you're still here, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just one of those things that's like, I really just wanted to shell at the time, and I still probably will do that mod thing, because I really could just get a different cable, and this could be like a second controller, right? Like I could probably just, you know, get like a soldering iron, unsolder this cable, put a new cable in. The only problem is that if I do that, I won't have like, if I get like an aftermarket cable thing, then like this won't have like the same thing on it. Like this says Nintendo on the end, and I know you know that. It just, a new cable won't have that on there. And as long as it works, that's fine. But you know, it's something I have to decide to do. Just depends. GameCube got you that controller? Yeah, it's a, I'm not gonna give too much information, but I would say a local, I'll put it that way, without giving too much information, a local mailed it to me appreciatively. GameCube has actually been in the chat for a very long time, or a member of the stream for a very long time in terms of like being a chatter, and I appreciate that. And through that interactivity, he's been gracious enough to send me a controller that he no longer uses, or one that he just, I don't think ever used or whatever. And so I have this controller. I have the other ones too, but I'm not going to get into that at the moment because I've already spoke about that. So very grateful, very grateful, not graceful, very grateful to have that, you know, and have the ability to, you know, use it. So as a wannabe streamer, I just talk to myself on the regular, and it helps when I go live or record. Exactly. There's been videos I've watched where people have been like, listen, if you stream to nobody and you feel as though you have a problem just talking for the sake of talking, and, you know, not because you're talking to somebody in chat, then one of the best things to try is to just record instead of going live, right? Where me talking to you right now is not necessarily me talking to you in chat. I'm talking to this camera still, you know, because there's still nobody here. So for me to go live and to anticipate talking to somebody while there's nobody here can come off as, okay, well, I'm just talking just to talk. And then once I find myself running out of words to say, what else am I going to talk about, right? Compared to if I just record, then recording means that, okay, nobody's supposed to be here anyways, so I'm just recording, right? You usually record a video by yourself, or unless you're with someone that you're recording the video with. So there's no expectation or stress of a chat coming in or not coming in, right? You're just recording. Like you literally at that point just talking to the camera. So if you can get comfortable doing that on camera while recording, The only thing you're adding is just when you're streaming it. The only thing that might interfere with that is when you have like alerts that could go off by chatters who are watching. Like if somebody redeems TTS in Twitch chat, or if somebody redeems like a sub, for example, and it plays like an alert, like just alerts essentially. So that's the only time that kind of interferes with if you are recording intending to be something that's offline intentionally. But at that point, you wouldn't go online, you wouldn't stream at that point, you know, unless you're intending to live stream your recording or the making of your recording, which I would prefer to do and I've done before. It's just a matter of finding things I need to record, like, which is pretty much what I'm going to be doing with like the games and the systems that I've collected, and you know, the games I still have on my backlog, which I've updated. I don't know if you were here last time, but I did update the backlog, so I want to show you that if you're still here. But once I'm able to confirm all of that information, like how I'm going to actually go about recording and how I'm going to record at the same time while live streaming, then I don't think this would be a problem for me. I did have like, not a breakdown, but a bit of, I guess, a moment of weakness, if you will, like the other day, where, or I guess on last stream, like after last stream, where it felt like I was doing this for no reason. It felt like I wasn't progressing or gaining any kind of traction with what I was doing, and it felt really defeating. Like, man, like I'm doing this, I have all this stuff, but I have nothing to show for it, and it feels like I'm just doing this just to do this, right? Just to say that I am doing it, so I don't like feel like I'm falling behind. And it really felt like I was falling behind. So one thing I had to remember, and some people even told me, one thing you have to remember is that, you know, when it comes to me, from what they've seen, they believe that I'm capable of doing really whatever I want because I have the know-how to do it. It's just a matter of sticking with it. Like if I just actually stick with it, understand that right now it's just like a dark time and you're going to get out of it, but you have to stick with it. Just prepare for the long haul, you know, stick with it for the long haul, you know, for the goal at the end of the light of the tunnel. Then you'll be fine, bro. Like, just keep pushing at it, and when you really feel like you don't want to do it anymore, then accept that and just stop doing it. Once you've accepted you don't want to do it anymore, but for the time that you still want to do it, then you just got to pursue. Like, you got to push through it, you know. So I'm not gonna give Mario a spanking. That's kind of weird, and I don't believe that I would have better success if I like cheese. If anything, I think I would be less successful. I would be even more unsuccessful than I am now if I did like cheese. Like that's not gonna change anything. Did you forget? Did you think that I forgot that you still with the both of them flyers? I never forgot about that. I still have that stream. I still have that VOD. It's not listed to where you can watch it because it's not available on YouTube, but I still have that VOD of you talk about both of them flies. Don't think I forgot. I still got it. I'm making a video of it. Because it was a funny stream. I wish it was still available on YouTube. It's not, but I still have it. Don't think I forgot. Okay, don't play with me. All right, you be talking about you was talking about buffing them flies, and you was talking about sending them flies over here after you was done buffing them out. Hey yo, like, don't come over here. All right, you keep them flies over there whether they buffed or not. All right, you keep them flies over there whether they buffed or not. And I want you to remember that. All right, you keep that in mind. All right, you tell your little flies too. I say they keep that in mind too. Yeah, how about that? And I want you to know you're getting clip farmed. That's a short right there. That's a short right there. I'm gonna try my best. That's a short right there. That's a short. That's a short. Anyway, that's my thoughts on, you know, Mario Kart and all that stuff. That's my update on what's going on with the whole gaming thing. As far as today's stream, like what I'm going to be doing, last time I was live, I tried doing this thing where if I was able to complete a level or like a thing in Mario Maker, like a set of levels in normal, like endless normal, where there's a meta game that's not new to me, or new to me, but you know, not new to everybody else, is no death normal, where you play endless normal in Mario Maker 2 for as far as you can, but as soon as you die, the run ends, right? So, in my defense, some of those levels were stupid hard for the category they were categorized in. Why in the world is Mario Maker 2 showing normal levels as expert levels or super expert levels with like 2% clear rates, 1% clear rates? Normal should be like 10% and up. Is my opinion. And easy is one that everybody completes. I don't understand why it's doing that. That's kind of crazy. YouTube censored my message because they knew I was too right. I said, I hope your mic breaks. Okay, well, I mean, if it breaks, I'll just get another one. And then you probably hope that one breaks too. Then I'll just get another one, right? And then you probably think that one will break, and you think I buy another one. However, what I'm actually going to do is come over there and take one of them mics from one of your flyers that you've been buffing out. I'll just do that instead. I mean, that seems easiest. You see, you're trying to get me to. I'm not going to say that because you want me to say that so that you have video and audio evidence of me saying it. I'm not saying that, right? Because it's not true. Whereas I have evidence of you saying in my chat that you was gonna buff out them flies, and you know I have that because you were there for that. That's still crazy. It's still crazy. You didn't even answer my question earlier when I said, "Are you still the person that was here last time?" Because I just want to know. I want to know who, if I'm referring to you correctly. Not like correctly as in like, you know, but I just want to make sure that I don't want to refer to you as you said you didn't want to be referred to as before. So I'm trying to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just trying to make sure I understand. I have video, I have video and audio evidence, okay? Not I have. Just okay. I video and audio evidence of you saying you'd pay 1,000 for a Switch, 1,000 Switch 2 head. Okay, yeah, I would. You could have another one. I would pay 1,000 for it if I wanted it that bad. And that's if Nintendo said it was that much, and I didn't get one beforehand, like the pre-tariff or no tariff at all, and it happened to be like 500 or like 600 or 700 or 800 or 900 or 1,000. I mean, I would spend that much on a MacBook. I spend that much on any other laptop, really. Right, by PC, right? Because I know the level of things I can get out of that machine for the money I'm spending is worth it. Now, whether or not we get the same amount of enjoyment out of a Switch that's $300 compared to 1,000, I'm still gonna be able to play Mario Kart, still gonna be able to play Smash Brothers, still gonna be able to play 3D Mario, still gonna be able to play Zelda, any other Nintendo IP, whatever third-party games come to it that I want to get on that system. It is what it is. You typed iVideo like you work at Apple or something, not I have. You didn't type I have. You go back and read your message. Go back and read this message right here. iVideo and audio. You see that? iVideo and audio. You did not put I have video and audio, and you lucky it just disappeared. You lucky it just disappeared. It's been on screen too long, right? Stop pointing. That's cheating. Who's the real Poindexter here? How about you go back to grammar school? You need to be Poindexter. How about that? That's what you need to do. Go back. Go ask them Flaju Buff and see if they. If you come up to Creative Clash, I'm gonna clash you, all right? I'm gonna clash you. It's gonna be a real clash. I'll tell you that. A real clash. About to get boxed out. Them flies you buff, you better send them over. You gonna express ship them, or you just gonna let them fly? You gonna put them in a box or what? That's strength training. Now I said strength, but bro, you gotta. What word is that? What word is this? STRENGRH? Chat, what word is that? Chat, what word is this right here? What word is this right here, chat? I just did correct you, actually. Put something in chat. Put something in chat that needs correcting. I got you. I'll wait. I'm patient. Oh, you getting mad? Oh, he's getting mad. He's getting mad. Look. Oh, he's getting mad. Oh, little baby getting mad. Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. You see how I messed up that? You see how I messed up that where I said Fomaby, right? You see that? I'm not perfect, right? But at least I'm owning up. I'm owning up to it. Owning up to it. See, I'm giving you examples of how people can be wrong but can correct themselves. You see what I'm saying? I challenge you. You're not gonna win. The only way you'll win, hold on, stop the music. The only way you will win in this challenge is if it's who can be more grammatically incorrect. That's how you'll win this challenge. If you want to challenge me and it comes down to who's going to be most grammatically incorrect, you got it. I'm not about to sit here and bet something so not arbitrary. I guess arbitrary. I'm not gonna sit here and bet something so arbitrary on subscriptions on YouTube. I don't care about that. Challenge me something I actually care about. I don't even care what the actual thing is that you get. Like, challenge me in something that I actually care about. How about that? Challenge me in a match to the death in Mario Kart or something. Do that. I don't even care about that either. You know, that's just content. Like, that's challenge me to something I can make content out of. And then I might be interested. You may get me interested if you challenge me in something, you know, content related. That's not content. That's making content to get to a point where you can make more content. That's not content. And to me, that's not content. That's not content. Because if that's the case, I would make an AI channel, or I'll just make AI videos and upload them to like an audience that will just eat it, right? Because I could do that. That's easy. I've seen videos on how to do that. It's extremely easy. I'm not trying to do that, right? I don't want to do that. That's not a challenge I'll accept. You gotta try something else. Everything you do in between this content, I disagree. To a degree, I disagree. To a degree. To a degree. I don't know what agree would be. To a degree, I disagree. I challenge my chat to see who can reach 1,000 subscribers first. The results may surprise you. I do watch Ludwig. Bro can't see content right in front of him. I mean, I told you, give me something else. I don't think that trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before somebody else is worthy of challenge, regardless of whether or not it's content or not. Because I don't think that's content. You have a better idea of a challenge around maybe like a specific game, possibly, because there's always challenges there outside of like something that would be broader appeal outside of games, because not everybody plays games. I mean, that's the thing. If you notice, that's the thing I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if you've been paying attention for the past, I don't know however many like minutes or streams I've been talking about this. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know, like something that is worth watching. There's so many videos already on YouTube that talk about how to get your first 1,000 subscribers, how to do this, how to do that, right? You can go watch those videos and then come up with that. Sure, fine. But coming up with something that's like, like that journey is one thing, but I don't think that that's enough to get people to subscribe. That's probably enough to get them to be like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's cool. It's cool that you showed me how you got there, right? That's a challenge that can go on for however long, which I guess brings up the question of, okay, well, yeah, that's why I want to challenge it, so you can see who can do it the fastest. You're basically speed running subscribers, right? I can go make a bot account or go pay somebody to subscribe to my channel and I win like that. I don't want to do that. The video would just be I paid for subscribers. Don't want to do that. Whether it's content or not, whether somebody else agrees with you saying that is content, the aftermath of the underlying effect of it, I don't want to have to deal with. I don't want to deal with that being a way to do it, because that is one way to do it. There are many ways to do it, and I don't want to do those ways, is what I'm trying to say. But a speedrunner, I mean, that's fine. Again, I said find a challenge that I care about. I don't care about speedrunning, which is ultimately why I don't care about finding a challenge to do with you in particular that begs the question of who can get to 1,000 subscribers before the other, because that's basically speedrunning, and I don't care to do that. The whole point of the challenge is the whole point of the challenge is you get creative and try to execute on collabs, ideas that force more attention to your channel. I don't mean bots. I did not say you meant bots. I said that's an example. Nowhere did I say that you said anything about bots. I said that's an example of one way to get subscribers. Is you pay for it. I didn't say that. That's what I'm saying. Nowhere in chat did you say that, so I don't have a footing or any foundation to say that that's what you said, because you didn't say that. What you did say earlier was you was buffed out them flies. I have proof of that. That's something you did say. I do not have proof of you saying anything about buying bots. I said that. So you see the difference is that I'm going off of things that I've said and things you said, and not just something pulled out of thin air. So that's the thing. That's the difference, right? That's the kale way, with no cheese. You can challenge me all you want. The challenge would just be one-sided. You'd be doing it just because I challenge Kelto to a match of seeing who can get 1,000 subscribers first. It'd be all on you. You come back to me and people be like, why did you accept this challenge? Be like, what challenge? Somebody was trying to challenge me to do something. But I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm over here. I'm doing something over here. I bet I can be better than you at any game. That's a possible bet. That's fine. I challenge Kelto to see who can be getting over it first. Like I just don't care. Like, do something I actually care about. Right? You do a thing where you do a thing where it's like if both of us do a stream, right? Like let's both go live. You was talking about before you wanted to go live together. I'm still waiting on that. Go live and see who can finish Super Mario Brothers the fastest or whatever. Fine, whatever. Like who can finish it first, right? Who can defeat Bowser first, right? Fine. Do I think that's gonna bring us subscribers? I do not. Maybe like 1 or 2, if that. That's not gonna get us. You see what I'm saying is that I don't believe that's gonna get us to 1,000 subscribers fastest. I don't believe that. I believe we would need a bigger, better idea than that. Me challenging you is just it's a story that may seem to work, but it's one that I don't believe will work for people of our size, is what I'm trying to say. That's not enough. I think we need more than that, is what I'm saying. Like the video idea needs to be more grandiose, not Mr. Beast level, right? Just more grandiose than that. The thing you're asking me to do, anybody can do that. I think it's better to find something that is a little bit more grandiose than that, has been proven to work, and then can be re-executed. That I would rather do. I'd much rather be full force on that, then I challenge Kelto to see who can get 1,000 subscribers fastest. Like I just don't. I just don't see that. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're gonna mock me, you come up with an idea. I just told you what I was about. What I thought was a better idea. The idea of what to do comes after you decide what you're going to, like, you know, how you're going to execute first. In my opinion, you may not have anything to execute on, but you set up the goal and then you find ways to get to that goal. You start at the end, if you will, and then you work your way back. What makes people want to subscribe to a channel? The content that's available is something that they either like or can learn from, or something like that. You either have been entertained or you learned something. Those are pretty much the only two things, the two biggest things people subscribe for. So I either gotta get into educational content, how to mock people in chat, right, without hurting their feelings, right? That'll get views probably, right? Especially if I edit it a certain way, if I record it a certain way, that can get views, right? I can make you laugh, right? Or the lack thereof. You could try to make me laugh, and the moment I do laugh, right, then you win something. I can do giveaways, right? That's something. But I will lose subscribers as a result of that. Subscribe to this channel and then like my tweet on Twitter, and then you insert yourself into a chance to win a Switch 2. Like, that's... Yes, I know. I know that. Where do you think I got that idea from? Where do you think that idea came from? Not necessarily from there, but that's a good example. That's a perfect example of what I was alluding to. That is a possible thing to do. The problem with that is when people aren't in chat. So another part of me coming up with ideas is trying to figure out the best way to do this, even when there's not even a chat to bounce off of, to make jokes with, to joke on, to have people to go buff them flies out like you do. That's the problem when you don't have a chat to actually get these ideas from and collaborate with. Collaborating with your chat is one of the easiest things to do when you have a chat, which I do not, to the size of those other people. It's just you and me, baby. Just you and me. Just kill and be. Like, that's it. Just kill and be. That's it. I mean, it could be a vehicle for content, but you have to word it that way. You have to word it that way, because when you word things, when you say things, you have to go off of people understanding what I'm trying to say off the words I've given. So if you say, hey, I want to eat a burger. Okay? You want to eat a burger, sure. Right? You can't say that me eating a burger, you can't just say me eating a burger serves as a catalyst, a car to drive you to go into your local burger place to get that burger. You know, the challenges and tribulations that you have to go through to get to that end goal. You just said I want to eat a burger. You didn't say I want to document a journey of me going to eat a burger. That's different. You didn't say that. The same way if I said I want to modify this controller with yada yada yada, right? The clickbait can be different, but the content has to be something that at least gives you that thing, and you didn't do that. Attach a shock collar to yourself every time you say buff flies, you get shocked. No, I'm not doing that, because I'm not buying a shock collar. For example, one week you may want to try who can beat a game faster. Another two people tried to mix the same sample into a song. That's fine. You also have to remember, I need other people to do that with. I do not have a consistent chat to do that with. That's the only thing. What you're saying are not bad ideas. There are ideas that are predicated on other people being present. Last time I checked, you don't sample songs, and you're not particularly good at games. You should be over there buffing flies. That's what I'm getting at. And I don't mean to keep using that buffing flies analogy or a joke as, you know, a standing point, but that's all I have. Like, that's all I get from you. That's it. That's all I get from you. You come in the chat, you tell me both them flies, you accuse me of being a porn Dexter, right? Switch to and that's it. Kel, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that, Kel? Why don't you do this, Kel? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I've seen you play a game or two, Kel. You really trying to talk that shit? I mean, I ain't trying. I'm definitely ain't trying to talk. I'm definitely talking. Oh, I'm talking. I don't know if you can hear me. Is this thing on? Hello?
Hello, is this thing on?
I know you hear me. I know you heard all that. Oh, you say you didn't hear it? You say you didn't hear that?
Hello, can you hear me?
I know you heard all that. Okay, the thing is that I can't hear you out because this is a text format. There's no audio. Even if I wanted to hear you out, I couldn't. You can type in chat, but I can't necessarily hear you out, you know. I get to 1,000 subscribers first. I can't eat cheese for a year. Okay, sure. I mean, yeah. Do that. Yeah. Do that. Yeah. Do that. You do that. You do that. Look, you're trying to pull back. No, that's not what I meant. That's not right. No. See, that's content. That's a funny little short. A hoot, if you will. I get to 1,000 subscribers first. I can't eat cheese for a year. Maybe what you meant to say. Let me take it upon myself to try to at least believe what you meant to say. Because what you said is one thing, but maybe what you meant to say was something else. Maybe what you meant to say was that if you get 1,000 subscribers before I do, then I have to eat cheese for a year. Maybe that's what you meant. Maybe that's what you meant. Maybe you meant to shut up, Kel. Maybe that's what you meant. Maybe I'll go over here and let these flies out. How dare you say I'm not particularly good at games? You want to talk, Kel. I don't talk like that. Yeah, alright. If you say so. I don't talk like that. No, wait, hold on. Hold on, wait. Wait. I don't talk like that. Or has my open glasses. No, those are my actual glasses that I use to see when I'm driving. Because the state of Texas says I need to wear them when I'm driving. So you're gonna use that against me, like. You're gonna be in chat like. Damn! Imagine not having perfect vision. Yeah, imagine buffing out flies and then saying that you're better than me at video games. Imagine that. Imagine all that. Yeah, I bet you're gonna type of dragons after that. Imagine dragons. Imagine dragging these nuts across your face. Imagine all that. Imagine dragons dragging their nuts across your face. Because that's always the joke. Anyway, listen. As far as what I was saying before, I'm basically waiting for the stuff to come in. And once everything comes in, I'm going to decide how I'm going to go forward with that. So once all that's here, I'm just waiting for the days for that stuff to arrive. So imagine a universe where you'd beat me in any challenge. I mean, I'm doing pretty good about, making sure you sound like a nerd in my chat. Or maybe the lack thereof, because, nerds are usually smart. And I don't know, man. What you're showing me, I don't know if I can give you that title or not. I don't believe I can give you that title. Now, the title I probably can give you is always trying to push me to do not better, but trying to find ways to expand the reach that we have. So maybe I'll probably give you that. I'll probably give you that, you know. I'm using a video by the end of the week, and it's going to be called Kelto Exposed Liar. You got anything else? Anything else you want to say to the world? It's actually good prop comedy. That's a clip. Yeah, I know. I know these things. You don't see me, unfortunately, you don't see me as a content brain person. And I very well am. Stop clip farming me. No. I'm not gonna stop doing that. How else do you expect me to get to 1,000 subscribers? You don't expect me to clip farm? Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm not accepting your stupid ass challenge, bro. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, it is so over for you because I'm not accepting your challenge. It's over before it even began. I'm not accepting your challenge. And then if you're so into it, then why haven't you just like done it already? Like I don't understand. Like if you're so into that, then why didn't you just do it? Like why aren't you actually doing that right now? Right? As far as I'm concerned, maybe I haven't checked in a while, but you haven't been doing anything. Right? You know what? Matter of fact, let's check it right now. You know what? I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll put my money right where my mouth is. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. Hey. Check this out. And you want to challenge me. You want to challenge me. All right, bro. Good. W YouTube. Hey, look. W YouTube. Hey, look. Hold on, wait. W. L kill. Yeah. 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 That's how I really sound, huh? Ooh, it's gonna be a fire video. Ooh, it's gonna be a fire video. Ooh, it's gonna be a fire video, bro. It's gonna be a fire video. I don't care if it don't get no views. I don't care if nobody likes it. I don't care if nobody leave a comment. It's gonna be a fire video. I can already, because it's gonna be a video I'm gonna like looking back at, and that's why I want to make videos so that I can go back and look at the stuff that happened from when I was streaming or recording. This gonna be a fire video, bro. This gonna be one for the streets. The streets gonna eat. The streets gonna eat good with this one. It's me. I'm the one on the streets. I'm gonna eat good. Hold on. Let me turn this Mac off real quick. See if that works. Yamino. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. The full list, I don't know, but what I can do, there's a way to find it, but I have to figure out how to get to it. Like I know I have it, I just don't know how I can actually like present it, you know? And it's not even BTTV. It all goes through like 7TV actually. All my stuff is through 7TV. I don't even like use. I don't really use BTTV actually. Actually, I think if I just do 7TV. Oh wait, no, hold on, wait. I think it's 7TV emotes. Maybe not BTTV emotes. There should be a thing where like it actually like tells you, you know. Bear with me one moment. Yeah, because I can see the emotes I have listed in chat, or like the ones I have connected to my chat, but there's no like list. I don't think there's a list that I can provide, like to say, okay, this is all the stuff I have currently, you know? So I don't know. And I know Stream Elements usually has like a thing where it'll show you, but I have to kind of like set it up, I think. Yeah, it can give you a way. I just don't know how to. So let me see. Chatbot, chat commands. 'Cause I know it's in here. Maybe just emotes. Maybe hold on. Let me see. 7TV. There we go. That's what it is. Yeah, so these are all the it's it's just flooding them in. Jesus. Yeah, so these are all the emotes that we have access to. Now, you won't be able to see that because that's on Twitch. You can see them. You can see all of them, but they're not necessarily like, you can't tell which ones are which unless you go to Twitch and look at the chat, right? And I think the ones for BTTV. Yeah, I don't have any BTTV emotes because I don't use BTTV. So do it again. It's all there. Just you do it. Type in the same command. Type in emotes 7TV, like exclamation point emotes space 7TV. And it'll just flood it all in, like it did up here already. I'm actually looking through the ones that we do have, and it's like you haven't logged in. Crazy. I know they got. I don't want to say they got rid of some emotes, but there's some emotes it won't let me use. I don't even see on there. I think one of them was like, oh, it still works. Oh, it does still work. That's cool. I just can't see it, or it's not loading in. I think, let me see. Okay, so it does still work. It just takes time for it to load. Okay, I see. Those were emotes that were kind of like, they removed them. Or like they said that they were like unlisted for like, I guess, certain reasons. But I didn't see it in the lists up here. And if I didn't see it, maybe because I can't see it because they're so small. And there's so many of them. But yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that we have. I don't know if you can see that. Boobs emote L. Just don't type them. Literally don't type them. Just as simple as that. No, I am not is what you meant to say. I am not. I am not, or I'm not. You are the definition of viral. Okay, cool. Your definition of viral, right? Okay, cool. Let me check out your channel then. Bro, hey, everybody. Stop the music. Hey, everybody. This phone B guy says hey, you said, oh, no. Huh. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. No, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you, brother. Brother, this guy said he's the... You said you said you were the, you just said you're the definition of you just said you were the definition of viral. What? You're the definition of shut up. I love how that didn't even. No. I messed up there, but I want you to see that. I'm adding you. I'm adding you. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Nah, hold on. I think it's Phone B YT because you're on YouTube, right? Actually, no, I'm posting this to YouTube chat. Actually. There we go. I don't think it sent it. Fine, I'll do it again. I can't tell if it's sending it or not. So if it isn't, then oh well. Oh well. Hey, it's on screen though, and that's all that matters to me. W YouTube, yay! W YouTube, yay! W YouTube. That's exactly how I clap too. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Yay! Yay! My name Bombi. My name Bombi. Nah, G, this could be a fire video, bro. I can't wait. I can't wait to start editing this. And I can't wait to start editing this, bro. That's gonna be so fire, bro. That's gonna be so fire. It just sucks that because I'm typing like this, it's not gonna be in the thing, so that's fine. You have to come back to. They're gonna have to know to come back to the source material anyways. So, and then if anything, it's almost flattering that you think that I can do something better than you can. So you have to clip me just to take the soundbite out of my video, just so you can use it. Okay, sure. Yeah, and But I got you down packed, bro. I got you down packed for real. But everything you say, bro, I can hear it in my head. I know exactly how it sounds. I just clipped that using it as a soundbite. Yeah, okay. YouTube censored you, WIT. What else you got, man? What else you got? What else do you have? Phone B 1 trillion subscribers. I got you, bro. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. I got you, brother, man. I got you, brother, man. I got you. I got you. I got you, brother, man. I got you, brother, man. What's this? Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait. Oh. Oh, there's content here. There's content here. There's content here. Look. There's content here. Oh, that was 10 months ago. Dang. That was 10 months ago. I won't say prediction. I don't think YouTube does have predictions. No, they have polls actually. YouTube chat is so behind on Twitch chat. Excuse me, that it's like, what's the point, bro? Just to have one person type in the chat. I'm sorry. That's funny though. But to kind of recap and come back around to it, the thing is that I really just want to get to a point where I can come up with ideas and be able to execute those ideas regardless of whether or not there's a chat or not. And I think for me, the best way to do that is to find ideas that can be executed on my own, and then, you know, have fun doing those ideas, and then just post them so people can see it after posting it, so that I can have an archive footage of it. That's pretty much it. And I feel that consistently doing what I like to do, eventually, without any indication of how long it'll take, will get to a point where somebody will resonate with that, and then, you know, it's just like a Kindle, like one little spark, you know, lights the entire flame, like the entire I guess fire, if you, I don't know, but that's my goal. So my goal is to sit down and think about ideas I can execute on my own, which are scalable to the degree of whether or not other people are present, right? But starting off with it being something I would do on my own. You know, I can always account for you being here and not being here. And that's pretty much all I'm trying to say, is that, you know, I don't have any control over that. Because if it was up to me, I would have lots of people watching me, like under my control, of me having control of that. Not under my control, like I control you, but just if I had the control to dictate, immediate control to dictate how many people are watching at once, of course I would take advantage of that. But I don't, right? A lot of people have found success with doing so, but it pretty much just stems from them doing what they thought was fun, first and foremost, and then still stick with that. Because if you start with something you don't find it fun, then you'll do it, but you may not do it for very long because you won't have fun with it. You'll get burnt out. You'll feel like you have to do it, and it'll reflect in your presentation. At least in my belief, I do feel that way. So it's really not worth it. Really ain't worth it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't really know what I wanted to do today after the actual thing, because really all I wanted to do is just chatting, because the gaming stuff isn't necessarily ready yet. Something else I noticed the other day, I think not last night, but yeah, it was probably last night. I was playing Mario Maker 2 offline, like just by myself without like an audience, or like trying to stream it to Twitch is what I mean. And I actually really enjoyed the time I was spending on the game. Like, it was actually like pretty good. Like, I didn't hate playing it. I found levels that I thought I could beat, and I think that's the kind of thing, is that when you find levels like that, it's very easy to kind of just enjoy yourself and continue on. And I enjoyed myself. Like, I didn't have a bad time doing what I was doing, but I don't think that I had a better time because I was offline. It just felt like, okay, well, if I had to record something, even though I wasn't really recording, if I was just playing, like, you know, how would I do that? And another thing I noticed too, is something I thought about. I don't believe that a lot of people are interested in seeing other people play games. I think people may find interest in seeing gameplay, like for the sake of seeing something that they may not be able to execute on their own. Like, someone may watch somebody else play a video game because they themselves either don't buy the game, or they want to see how this certain outcome plays out, or, you know, this certain trial, or like this certain pathway or whatever, or how to execute something cool. Like, some people will watch games for that, but I don't know if people will watch somebody playing that, executing that, right? People watch people who are really good at the game, like Tins getting the views he does because of the fact that he's like really, really good at Valorant, compared to Joe Schmo playing, you know, whatever, right? It's just him playing it. And I think we got to a point where that's no longer interesting. There's an audience for that, sure, but I don't believe that that audience is widespread enough to be something viable, right? So what I think of when I hear that, or when I think of that, is finding things that appeal to a lot more people, and then trying that. Because if you can find something that appeals to everybody, then it doesn't have to be exactly games. You can probably still talk about games, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be strictly only games. So I think what I want to do as a result of that is I'm still gonna play games. That's me not being able to market myself playing games to others effectively will not stop me from playing games. It just may stop me from streaming it. But even with me not streaming it, I'm still going to want to document it and like have it to where I can actually go back and look at the footage, because recording it means I have to record it to my local drive. It sits there for a while, and then it necessarily takes up space that I could be using on something else. So if I could give that space back to myself and put that archive somewhere else, like on YouTube, then I'd much rather that. So for that reason, I'm still going to actually do playthroughs of games on YouTube, like, or on both Twitch and YouTube, but the archive will be saved on YouTube, right? Like the library, the vault will be on YouTube, if you will. So I'm going to do that. And then once I actually get to a point where, how do I say, if I do get a following from that, at that time I will reassess and talk to the following and say, hey, listen, we're here, I want to do this, I also want to see what you guys think, and then we can go off of that. But up until I have an audience, I'm gonna do what I want to see myself do, or what I want to see somebody else do, right? I find interest in finding people that play games for the first time, games I'm interested in for the first time, and then going that route. Unfortunately for me, there are a lot of games I haven't played, games I'm familiar with but may not have played myself, and those are games that I would want to see myself play. So that way, if I ever want to go back and see how I did in Mario Maker 2 or in whatever the game that I've played, like, okay, maybe not Mario Maker 2, but like Super Mario World, Super Mario 3, Metroid Prime, Super Metroid, any game really that I've played in the past on this channel, and then at least I can go back and watch the stuff I've done and then kind of go from there. So maybe that'll be like a shirt. Maybe I can make merch and say and kind of go from there, because I say that a lot. So with that being said, I'm going to give Mr. B maybe like another 2 minutes or so, maybe like a minute. I'm not gonna wait that long, another minute or so, to see if there's anything else he wants to say. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not gonna call you out like that. You've just been typing, so I just want to give you that opportunity. But in the event of us not having anything else to say, I'm probably going to end it. I'm just going to give myself a couple minutes here and then end on that. All right, let's take a look at something real quick. Okay, like I said before, I'm not gonna wait too much longer. But as I said before, I appreciate you guys coming through. Unfortunately, I do apologize. I don't really have any gaming content to come up with at the moment. If anything, it would be something I'd want to do, like a challenge, which I'm cool with challenges, but I feel like it has to be worth the time of me doing it and knowing that there's a video coming out at the end of it if I do that. Maybe what I'll do next time, let's see, today's Thursday, so that means I'll be live again on Saturday. I'm planning on being live again on Saturday. What that means is that what I probably want to do is something more community focused. Now, again, this is difficult to do without having people to even talk to tell to do this with, but I'm going to try to find something where we can like for example, Fombi, if you are still here, or if you're watching the VOD, if you ever come back and watch this, then having a reaction thing, like having like, okay, well, hey, listen, you post stuff in the server, which I don't believe I think you're in the server actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you're still in the server. If you post things in the library, I'll probably even at you. If you post things in the library for me to react to, then I will react to it. But of course, it has to be like where it has to be like, not TTS, but TOS approved and stuff like that. But maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll get into the habit of doing that. Like just seeing things that you guys can send me, and I'm not gonna necessarily be like, you laugh, you lose, or anything like that, or trying to laugh or whatever. But for the starting off, just post stuff. I know you've wanted to do that for a long time. So just post something, and then I'll look into looking at it and reacting to it. I'll try to wait until the day, like when it comes up, to like do it. So outside of that, I'm gonna add you with that again, and then I'm quite gonna add everybody, and then kind of go from there. And once we do that, we'll see how that goes. So cover gaming news the same way you did. I mean, my most successful video was me just reacting to a direct, and I think the reason that blew up as much as it did was because it was an announcement of a new Switch at the end of it, which really wasn't even a new Switch. It was like a new Switch edition, like a colorway, or like a the one I still have right here, which I actually do have. Like that's the one that people were like really excited about. So I don't really believe. I think that was like lightning in a bottle kind of thing. Like I think that was just like striking at the right time. But I mean, I don't see a problem with you doing that. I mean, anybody can really do it. It's just a matter of you have to stick with it. You really have to stick with the consistency in that key. Consistency in that sense really is key, is what I meant to say. So I would just say, I mean, the same thing I would do is look at what's working. Like people who do report on news stuff, obviously already have like a following. They try to be credible, like they have the stuff coming up, and then just go from there, But yeah, the Switch 2 situation is insane, really. I think at this point, having your opinion is fine. I would also be interested in seeing a new take on why the situation is insane. For example, everybody's talking about the price. Everybody's talking about the tariffs. Everybody's talking about the availability. Everybody's talking about the pre-orders, stuff like that. So that stuff I've already known about. That wouldn't necessarily make me stop and watch your video, because it's information I'm already privy to, right? As someone who's already up to speed with the situation. But if you provided a new perspective on why this is insane, then you differentiate yourself from others in that regard. I'm not saying this because you don't know this. I'm just saying this because it makes more sense. So if you are able to do that, then at least it makes it to, okay, everybody's talking about this, but I'm talking about this, right? And then you can kind of go, you can compare it, not necessarily compare it to that, like compare yourself to others in the video, but you just like have a different take, like say something that hasn't already been said before, kind of thing, right? Because a lot of people are saying a lot of things. So if you do have new takes, then hopefully they're different than what somebody else has already been saying, or what the majority of people have already been saying. That's all I'm saying, really. But yeah, it's easy to agree with me, right? I don't understand why you don't agree with me about not liking cheese, or why you insist on buffing them flies out. But you're not meant to be me, right? I'm not meant to be you, right? I'm Kel and you're Fombi, and we're different in that regard. We may agree on things like you just said you do, however, we're not going to be one to one. You and I are not the same. We have similarities, but we're not the same. So, as I was saying, I mean, best of luck and all that. I'm never gonna wish ill on you. I am gonna go ahead and end it here, though. I just wish I had other things to do, and really, what I should do is take the time to actually come up with the ideas myself, so I can execute on them. But what I'm also gonna do is, I don't know if you heard me, but Saturday I'm gonna be live again. I'm trying to go live every other day, right? So if I'm gonna try to do something more community focused, where okay, well, I have to start somewhere, and I don't really want to do a challenge against somebody else. But what I'm gonna do is say, okay, well, if I want more community engagement, I have to do things that are community engaging. So I'm going to advertise, or try to advertise, the Discord and I'm gonna add you. If you don't remember, if you don't hear me say it, I'm gonna add you in the server that you're already in on my server, and then just say, okay, well, just post stuff. Now, keep in mind, it does have to be TOS compliant, if you will. Like, I'm gonna have to go through and just kind of quickly peruse. I don't have any mods. I kind of like doing anything myself. Not that people are trying to be mods that I've just told no, but I go through everything myself essentially. So I'll probably just record it offline. I don't know, because I can't run the risk, or I don't want to run the risk of, you know, getting banned or whatever. So if anything is not cool, then maybe I'll do that online. Maybe I'll do that offline. But maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Like, I'll tell you to like post tonight, whatever, and then I'll just record tomorrow. And then from there, I'll just kind of, okay, well, look, I asked my community to post some stuff in the server. If you want to join in, this is the link. Let's take a look at what we got, and then just go from there. And maybe it could be shorts. It could be almost anything. You wanted me to react, so I'm trying. I'm actually trying. So post this stuff, and I'll do it offline, so that way I can decide what is worth reacting to, what isn't going to get me in trouble, and then I'll put it up that way. So that way, when I do come back Saturday, maybe I have more ideas I can use, and then I can go from there. So I'm trying. Like you said, I'm not trying to necessarily, challenge someone, but I am trying to find ways to do things that don't necessarily require other people when I don't have other people to require things of. So, you know, it can start with one, and then it build upon that. So if you want to post stuff to react to, all I ask is that you post it in library. Like I said, I'm gonna add you where to do it, and then you can do it in there. So I'm gonna do it right now before I even get off. All right, cool. Well, now we've done all that. As I said before, let's see. React Tail arc is finally happening. It might be if you don't mess it up. If you don't mess it up, it might happen. You don't mess it up. You're the one who's here, so you're the one who has to help me get this started. All right? You want to see me hit 1,000 subscribers? Don't mess this up, and I mean that. It's important to find topics you find interesting and find it more easy to speak on. For example, some content creators react to true crime, other sports. Yeah, I get that. Me starting off, I have to start with something. So, you know, the 2-person job. Yeah, I'm willing to do my part. I need you not to mess it up. That's all I'm saying. You post the content. I react to the content. We do this for 40 years and then we die. Like, that's how this works. Right? That's how this works. I can't react harder to something that's not already there. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys. Always will. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Get to be yelling for 24 hours. I'm not going to be doing that. Bro doesn't understand the content machine. I do. You don't think I do. But I do. You don't think I do. You don't think I do. But I do. All right, I'm out of here.